This is Undisputed. We're here on Xbox Series X taking a look at the return of video game boxing. Be sure to like the video, subscribing is great as well. So if you're a fan of boxing in video games, it's all but basically vanished at the current point in time. We did have the Fight Night series back in the day. We've had a couple titles since, but largely UFC has taken the, well, focus from EA in terms of their fighting game, and it's interesting to see a boxing title come back, have some legacy features, and attempt to recapture the magic of boxing in a video game format, something that again we haven't really seen a whole lot of in quite a while. So this game is interesting because it's very much a smaller studio from what I understand, where it's kind of like almost was a bit of an indie type effort, and then they were essentially injected with a little bit of extra support, and we're able to bring this game up with some more licensed characters and whatnot. So I'm going to try to take it from the perspective of this is a building block, something they can work off of and expand with future entries, and even just this game package itself to improve what it has to offer. But I think the foundation here is generally solid, and it feels like something that is literally gameplay-wise like a Fight Night title from back in the 360 era. I think visually it looks like something that is a little earlier last gen, but you know, gameplay-wise it does definitely beckon back to that 360 kind of heyday for boxing. It could use a little bit more nuance for some of the smaller elements, and at times it does feel like a bit of a punching bag thing back and forth. But I think for the most part, kind of getting the fundamentals, the look, the style, the feel down, it kind of nails the boxing aesthetic and vibe that I kind of expect from a boxing video game. So here on Series X, what are we getting? It looks like it's dynamic 4K, 60 FPS. There's probably going to be some situations where you're noticing that there are performance drops while playing, and the odd crash pops up, which you're going to be seeing in just a second here, since this is a edited video, and I was kind of like, oh, that's a little rough right off the bat to have right now. Yeah. So it crashed back to the dashboard. It doesn't happen too often, but it popped up, so I thought I would kind of just include a mention of that in case you were wondering. So the gameplay is split across a variety of different modes. For me, when I'm playing sports games, I usually do exhibition. That's where I spend my time. So yeah, you've got quick fights. So in quick fight, you're able to easily choose from the different weight classes, and you can do like an AI only fight if you're into that kind of thing. We got your heavyweight, your cruiserweight, your light heavyweight, middleweight, welterweight, lightweight, featherweight, and then we also have bantamweight, and then there's also the women's league with welter and lightweight. So you get a wide range of different options and boxers to choose from, and then there's actually a plethora of different I guess you would say stadiums and rings to kind of basically play in, everything from like your small town little training area to something a little bit more extravagant. I think they do nail the sort of visual setup, the crowd, the ambience, everything like that feels like a boxing match. It doesn't really have those current gen crowds that we see in other sports titles, but again, it is something that is a little bit of a building block foundation. And I think, again, like just visually looking at this, I think it looks pretty good. I think it captures the boxers pretty well, and it's got a nice vibe and style to it. You know, reactive sort of mat, and also the floppy things around the ring, which, you know, kind of react to your boxer getting like pushed into them and stuff like that. You get to see that intense, I guess you would say, moisture coming off the face off of big hits. You get to see those devastating blows. It reminds me of Fight Night in a good way, right? Like the Fight Night series was always something that was really cool and enjoyable, and I miss it quite a bit. But yeah, that's kind of the style that we got going on here. So outside of like your quick matches, you're able to play online against others. So you can do online quick play, like quick fights. There's ranked. You can create a lobby, and the game also has local prize fights, so there's like different special fights going on and some tutorial options if you want to learn a bit about the game. Then we have the career mode. So you can have like a regular kind of career, so like a pro career. There's also like a licensed career, so if you want to start with like a specifically like special type of boxer, you can kind of do that. The career is a bit simplistic. If you're coming off of Fight Night Champion, which was the most recent Fight Night entry, that one had a very cinematic, theatrical, like it was a very theatrical as in theatrics of it. You know, like there was a story and a whole thing and a whole build-up. This career mode is a bit more simplistic. It doesn't really have the nuanced sort of deeper elements of like what you might expect out of a story career mode for a sports game nowadays, but it's an okay starting point. Just don't expect it to be anything too wild. The game also allows you to create your own boxer or set of boxers, and that feature's actually kind of nice to have. It's not too bad of a mechanic in terms of being able to create the type of boxer you want to have and the weight class and some of the details. It's not necessarily like crazy in depth, but it's a good enough character customizer where you can, well, boxer customizer, so that you can kind of enjoy things. So I would say, like, gameplay wise and mode wise, I think it's hitting the mark there. Like, this is where it just like lean back and a little awkward there, and you get some frame drops here or there. But like at the end of the day, it's nice to have a new boxing game. I think that's the biggest thing here. And you know, I'm not like super technical in the know-how of all the smaller bits of boxing in terms of like all the special moves and things that you would expect within the game. But from my experience with Fight Nights and other fighting things like UFC and whatnot, various years of covering those games and seeing the games over years and years and years, this is a pretty solid foundation. I think the ones that come after this, as I'm assuming this, if it does well enough, we'll see multiple, you know, different releases and whatnot, and sequels and whatever. I think they've really got some potential here to do some great things. At the current point in time, it's a solid boxing game and offers you a wide roster of boxers. You can make your own boxer. You got quick fights, you got the prize fights, you got the online, you got the career kind of mode. It doesn't have any like really silly or weird out there modes or anything. It's pretty basics. It hits the mark. It's just trying to bring back video game boxing, and I think it's successful in that way. I also like the controls. You could use either the buttons, or you could use the stick in different ways, or you could use a combination of the two of them. It's pretty simple to learn. The tutorial type thing in this took all but 2 seconds, and you get like a good grasp of how to actually fight and be combative. I did find that, as I kind of mentioned, some of the matches like feel a little bit like punching bag type things, where you're just sort of really trading blows for a long time, and I don't know if that's like a stylized kind of approach, but I was really trying to push just doing like usually heavy hits to the head to see how fast things could actually go at times. And it was just sort of like, yeah, they were just kind of taking it. And yeah, the fatigue system is interesting, and like it's a solid, you know, there's different difficulty choices too, and I think generally this is pretty good. Like, I had fun playing this. I was like, oh, you know, it feels like Fight Night from back in the day. The visuals, they're not like cutting edge, but it looks good. It looks detailed. It looks fine. Visually, I think it hits the mark. You know, I don't have higher expectations for what this type of game is other than what it provided here. I think that's good. It's got a decent selection of modes, a decent selection of ways to fight. And I think if you're looking for a boxing game in the current generation, this is your option. It's not perfect by any means. I'm sure the more intensive boxing people will have more finite details that they get, you know, a little disappointed to buy, and I think that's all fair. But from what I played and what I experienced, I enjoyed what this had to offer. I see a lot of potential with this becoming a series, and at this point I'll leave you with some non-commentary gameplay just to see more of it in action.
Another day, doesn't he? Somebody can smell blood here. They can smell blood. They've got to be smart. Get in there. Then boom, back in the same spot again. It happened once. You get away with it. You can do it again. These punches coming from every angle. Final 10 seconds here, and the corner is going to have their work cut out for them. Let's talk about Leonard in that last round. What a huge momentum swing that's going to be, considering that round. We're hoping for an all-action slugfest. His eyes look pretty clear here, Johnny. How do you think he's going to do after being knocked down in the last round? Oh, listen to me. If I knock somebody down like that round, you know this round coming out? He's getting everything, full barrel, because I know his legs are gone. So this, you watch what's going to happen. If he doesn't, I'll be very, very surprised. Swing and a miss with that jab. Rate is down. The head isn't moving as well, Johnny. Fatigue is starting to set in. Now this is about desire. This is about character. This is about want. The only fear you have with this fighter is has he punched himself out? Halfway through the round, and it's pretty much even Steven. Only catching air with that hook. Perfectly matched. Skill. Sugar Ray's in trouble. He couldn't seize the moment. Now they've got to wake up. They've got to get on the back foot. Clear the head up. Little bit, then jump back into it again. So the hustle. Get back on it. Sugar Ray is down. Cue up the replay machine. I have got to see that again. Even I've got to see that again. Where did that come from? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Straight right, just misses. Let's talk about Leonard. They ring the bell, and here we go. He got knocked down in the last round. Let's see what he can do here. What a heavy knockdown. How are they going to come from that? They staggered back to the corner. They've got to freshen them up, alert them again, get them back on point again. This round, they've got to coast around. Don't get involved. Give yourself another 3 minutes to get your head clear. Well, Johnny, has anything surprised you here as we enter the final frames of this bout? I've seen some fighters with a granite chin. You can hit them with a sledgehammer. They are not going to move. But then I've seen some mad punchers with a chin like a crisp. As soon as you touch them, they're gone. And this is the danger spot. You'd like to see more jabs. This fight a little bit closer than I think a lot of people thought. This is a high-octane battle. Very close match. It shows the skill, the discipline, the respect these fighters have for each other, because no one dare do anything out of turn. Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. Beautiful counter shot. We've seen in the past from this fighter, they don't get concerned when they lose some of these earlier rounds because they know they've got that power that can strike at any moment. They know the second they touch you, it's done. They're that powerful. So far, you know the score scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Talk about Alvarez in that last round. Well, there was no doubt about who won that round.
Dominance.
And there's the bell to start the round. That round was complete domination. Let's see if we can shake things up here in this round.
My motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
When are we going to see a jab from these two? Johnny knows a fine line between being aggressive and being too aggressive. How does he exploit that?
I've seen some aggressive fighters. They can terrorize the life out of you before they've even thrown a shot. The strength they have, the speed they have, and that knockout punch, they want to punch through you. They don't want to punch you. They want to punch straight through you. So you've got to be careful.
Oh, Leonard just got rocked. Nice exchanges from both men in this round. Maybe not as hurt as we thought, but he can continue to take those punches. What is he doing in there?
What recovery skills they are. What a shot it was. Completely gone. I thought there's no way he's going to finish this round. But look at that. Look at the movement. Look at the speed. Back on it. Like it never happened. Got caught sleeping on the job. What do? You step back. Steady yourself. Recompose yourself. Then boom. Back into it. But do not make those mistakes. This is the wrong place to fall asleep.
Throws the jab, but it doesn't score. Perfect counter lands. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Talk about Alvarez in that last round. Pretty dominant round there. Let's see how they respond here in the next round. We're hoping for an all-action slugfest. Well, Johnny, can he keep the momentum going after that last huge round for him?
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait.
Sugar Ray is down on the canvas. How about that impact? Let's see that again in slow motion.
You're right, Todd. What a shot.
Well, they're back up, Johnny, but now what do they do to get back into this fight?
Todd, he's up. I'll be surprised if he makes it back to the corner. And if he does, will he get back up on the stool again? That was a shot.
Well, Johnny, I know it's still early on, but have you been surprised by anything you've seen?
That power might be the do or die. That power might be the equalizer.
They got to pick things up halfway through the round here.
It's that forever hope. Remember fighting Evander Holyfield? He could be behind on points up until the last 10 seconds. But he's fighting like he's going to pull it back. That's the kind of hope we need to see.
A lot of effort being exerted here. Straight right, just misses. Hook misses. Oh my word, Canelo just got clipped. As we enter the final 10 seconds here, it's probably a big, heavy blow, and Saul is down. I think that will look even more dramatic in slow. Another win, another unanimous decision victory.
They've done it before, now they're doing it again, and look